Good day and welcome to Queenship's Bible Study. And I am your host, Queenship. And today we're continuing on our morning chat, which was about spiritual authority. When it comes to the women of the Bible, when it comes to the women of the book, the women of God. So we're going to pray. I'm going to let people know that we're live real quick. We're going to pray and then we're going to get right into this. So today is not as intense as this morning. Today is pretty free flowing. This session is pretty free flowing. Okay. So with my prayer, I always speak in Arabic and then English. So what I say in Arabic, I'm gonna repeat in English. So Bismillah means in the name of God, on God's name. And Ir-Rahman Rahim means the most gracious, most merciful. So let's get into this. Bismillah. Ir-Rahman Rahim. I pray that we have a good session today. That everything that needs to be said is said. Everything that needs to be said is covered in this session. I invite God to speak through me, to use me as an instrument to share this message. To use me as an instrument to spread love. May God's universal love be expressed through me. God, we are here today united in your name. God, may you ward off all negativity, all negative energy. bless all those who listen, all those who heed the message. All those who are here gathered in your name, because this is a community to honor you. Bismillah, in God's name I pray. Amen. So let's get into this. Where's the singing bit? Oh, it might be loud. I don't even sound right. Okay, so this session is to highlight women of the book, women of God, amongst different religions, amongst different cultures. So I have came across some information that had me thinking, because I wanted to look into all religions, all backgrounds, all faiths from all different religions, all different regions of the world. But something came to my attention that majority of the world's countries, continents, cities, whatever have you, are colonized. And colonization influences social norms. So colonizers are self-serving, then the religion in those colonies will be self-serving. You hear all the time where the the priest has all this money, or it's a mega church. Not all mega churches are self-serving, but they would they have like nice everything, but the people who follow them are struggling. Religion is very sensitive because there are people who rely on the word. There are people who will give up everything to be blessed by God, to be in God's grace. And there are some people who take advantage of that faith, that dedication, that devotion to God. So I had to find out who are the sovereign states and what are their religions. And the places, the regions that have never been colonized are, first on the list, Japan. Next is Ethiopia and Thailand, Libya, Liberia, pardon me, and Nepal. and the religions that are widely practiced in these countries. In Japan is Shintoism and Buddhism. 48.6% of its population practice Shintoism, and 46.4% is practiced in 46.4% of the population of Japan's population practices Buddhism. Now, if you want to look up the information yourself, if you are questioning the legitimacy of the information that I'm sharing, if you want to fact check me, I got this information off of CIA.gov. Then we have Ethiopia, and I also have the total population, but we're not going to get all into that. So in Ethiopia, what is widely practiced is Ethiopian Orthodox, which is 43.8%. 43.8% of its population practice Ethiopian Orthodox. 31.3% of its population practices Muslim faith, and 22.8% of its population practices Protestant faith. And this is in Ethiopia. Now, Thailand. In Thailand, 92.5% of its population practice Buddhism. In Liberia, 84.9% of its population practice Christian faith, and 12% Muslim faith. Nepal, 81.2% of its population practice Hinduism. So we will be looking into those religions: Hinduism, Christianity, Muslim faith, Buddhism, Ethiopian Orthodox, Protestant, Shintoism, and that is it. So I do not have these texts, so I had to do a bit of research to find uh, information on that's relevant to what I'm trying to accomplish. And so, like I was saying about colonialism impacting religious studies, there is also what is it called? Patriotism. I hope I'm saying that right. Patriarchy. No, that's not what it's called. Where man rule, where there's no matriarchy. So yeah, patriotism. patriarchy. So one thing that yeah, patriarchal, patriarchal, yeah, patriarchal. Patriarchy also influences how women are depicted in the Bible, and I think this is very important because, say, figures like Eve is said to represent the beginning of sin. And if you're a woman and you grow up learning that the first woman to ever step foot on this earth represents the beginning of sin, how would you then view yourself? How would you then see other women? How would that influence how you behave? And then there's this book that disproves this statement or it challenges this statement. There's a book, When God Was a Woman, by Merlin Stone. I would suggest to, pick up this book, learn this book, study this book, because it's profound. The information that's in this book is profound. And if you want to donate anything to this channel, let it be books. You can email me. My email is in the description on my YouTube channel, on my YouTube page. And we can see what we can do. But pick up this book, When God Was a Woman. It talks about how convenient it is for a woman to be the beginning of sin in regards to patriarchy, and how in ancient texts the snake is is depicted as like a feminine energy, but in the Bible it represents Satan. So this morning we spoke about the woman who was clothed in the sun, at the moon at her feet, and 12 stars on her crown, as a crown on her crown. And it seemed apparent that this woman was anointed, or she was given authority by God. God had dressed her in these elements that made it apparent that she was a woman of God, that she was a woman of faith, true faith. Now we will be expounding on our morning session. But first, let's clear up the situation about Eve, referring to When God Was a Woman, written by Merlin Stone. So, in Christian faith, the original view on Eve is that she is the first woman created by God, representing representing both humanity and the beginning of sin. The revised perspective on Eve that comes from this book. In Stern's analysis, Eve can be seen as a figure who embodied agency and creativity, instead of merely being a passive participant in the narrative of sin. She presents the complexities of human experience and potential for empowerment. Now, doesn't this sound her potential for empowerment? This comes from your own free will. Potential comes from your own free will. You can either choose to do nothing with your time or do nothing with your borrowed time, or you can improve, develop, empower yourself, and empower others. And then it says she has agency as she was the helpmate of Adam. Agency meaning a business or organization. So I looked up the definition, and there's a few definitions. It's two. A business or organization providing a particular service on behalf of another business, person, or group. So she was the helpmate of Adam. So his business was her business. And then the other definition is action or intervention producing a particular effect. Which means that she had responsibilities. She wasn't just looking cute. And creativity. Creativity doesn't just mean artistic creativity. Mathematicians can be creative. Philosophers can be creative. Creativity can be innovative. Or you have a lot of ideas. Your ideas go beyond the box, beyond limitations. Then we have significance. Eve's significance, the original view, often viewed through a lens of temptation and fallibility rather than empowerment. What's fallibility? Fallibility, the tendency to make mistakes or be wrong. So imagine you are the first woman to walk this planet Earth, and you are viewed through the lens of temptation, which we've already read is a part of the seven sins, a part of the seven deadly sins. And fallibility, which means the tendency to make mistakes and be wrong. Now, we aren't all perfect. We can all make mistakes. But this right here, temptation and to be wrong and make mistakes, this seems like it's a part of her character. And then it says rather than empowerment. Opposed to be empowered, opposed to being empowered, she represented temptations, which is a sin, and fallibility, which means the tendency of making mistakes or to be wrong. It sounds like God wasn't on her side, or she didn't allow God into her life. She didn't allow God in. It sounds like she was a sinner at the core. And that's not a great depiction. So we have here that empowerment means authority or power given to someone to do something. The practice of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling one's life and claiming one's rights. And what did we learn in the first this morning? What did we learn in this morning? Who gives you authority? Who gives you authority and power? God gives you spiritual authority. She is the woman of the book, but it doesn't seem like she was in God's grace. Not by this depiction. Then the Revised Version. Stern argues that Eve's role should be reclaimed as one of significance in the creation narrative. She is not solely defined by her transgressions, but also by her role as the mother of all living. Genesis 3, verse 20. This reframing allows for a more nuanced understanding of her character, emphasizing her continuation to humanity rather than her failures. This gives you more, this gives her a more honorable depiction. The mother of all living, which sounds powerful. She was here to create life, be fruitful and multiply. And then it says mother. It doesn't just say creator of all life, it says mother of all life. It requires nurturing. It requires you to be loving. It requires you to be nurturing. A teacher. It requires you to be compassionate. Theological implications. This is the original view of Eve. Her story raises discussions about gender roles and sin in Christian theology. So she is the face of sin instead of the face of empowerment and motherhood and fertility. The revised view. By re-examining Eve's role, femininity, feminist theologians challenge traditional interpretations that have historically justified women's subordination. Stern's work suggests that reclaiming Eve can lead to a broader understanding of femininity in theology emphasizing qualities such as wisdom, strength, and nurturing. This shift encourages discussions about equality and the divine feminine in contemporary faith contexts. And I agree. We should be more open to women's wisdom, our strength, whether it be emotional, mental, spiritual strength. Because a woman of God is spiritually ambitious and nurturing. Everything she touches multiplies and becomes better. She waters you and doesn't necessarily have to be reciprocal, because when you nurture a child, you don't expect for that deed to be reciprocated. You don't expect nothing back from that child. You water it, and that's it, because you want to see it grow. You pour love into your child. You pour love into the things that you love. You pour love into your man. You pour love into things that matter to you. You can nurture a business. You can nurture a community, a nation. You can nurture yourself. More importantly, you can nurture yourself. Because if you don't take care of you, then how will anything get done? Human capital over everything. You have to take care of yourself first. Because if you go on, who's going to take care of the children? Who's going to take care of business outside of what the man has time to do? Or some things, men and women have different strengths, which complement one another. Both forces are needed. Feminine and masculine energy are needed in order to encourage balance and harmony. So, additional insight: agency and wisdom, cultural context, and literary. Let's look up this word. Liturgical, public worship, liturgical reform, agency and wisdom. Feminist theologians highlight Eve's agency in seeking knowledge and understanding. This contrasts with traditional views that paint her as merely a temptress, which is only dark feminine. Cultural context. Stern points out that early cultures often revered female deities associated with fertility and wisdom, suggesting that the decline of such reverence contributes to the negative portrayal of women like Eve in later Christian thought. Liturgical reform, the reinterpretation of Eve's character, opens avenues for reforming liturgical practices to celebrate women's role positively rather than focusing solely on themes of sin and punishment. Merlin Stone's women, when God was a woman, invites readers to reconsider Eve's role within the biblical narrative by viewing her through a lens that emphasizes agency, creativity, and significance. Because how they're depicting her makes her seem so insignificant, so pitiful, a low life. The first woman to walk this earth is depicted as a low life, used and seduced by the devil, so easily seduced by the devil. We can foster a more inclusive theological understanding that empowers women within within the church. This perspective aligns with contemporary movements seeking to reclaim women's voices in religious discourse and lead our understanding of gender roles in Christianity or in life, period. So let's look into women of other texts. So in Shinto sacred texts, we have the sun goddess. Is this her name right here? Eme- Amaterasu. Amaterasu. This text is from the Kojoki, Volume 1. I hope I'm not mispronouncing it. Kojoki. Kojiki. The Kojiki. In the Kojiki Volume 1, when Amaterasu, the sun goddess, saw that her younger brother, Susanoo, was causing trouble, she withdrew to the heavenly rock cave, plunging the world into darkness. The interpretation. Amaterasu. Amaterasu's withdrawal represents the impact of a leader's action on their community. This. So, what I got from this is that she didn't take compulsive action. She wasn't impulsive. It says plunging the world into darkness. Her brother was causing trouble. So the heavenly rock, the heavens rock cave, in a cave in Japanese mythology, according to the Kojuki records of ancient matters. And the Nihon Shoki, the bad behavior of Susanoo, the Japanese god of storms, ah, drove his sister Amaterasu into the Amano Lowato cave. The land was thus deprived of light. In order to get Amaterasu out of the cave, the other gods called Yao Yorozu no Kami threw a party outside with wisdom of Amoi King, the goddess, Ami no Uzumi no Makoto performed a lewd dance, eliciting laughter. So let's keep reading. Amaterasu grew curious about the source of amusement and peeked out of the cave's entrance. She became fascinated by her own reflection in the Yata no Kagami mirror, which the other gods had crafted and hung before the cave from that purpose, for that purpose, and stood transfixed. Ami no Tjikaro then forced the cave open, and the world was bathed in light once again. As Amaterasu stepped out of the cave, a holy seal was applied to it so that she could never go back into it, into hiding. So I wonder if this is literal or symbolism, because the Heavenly Rock Cave, what I got from it was meditation. Instead of going after her brother, she decided to go within. And because the world felt deprived of her light, they tried to influence her to come out of meditation and back into the world. But what did they do about the brother? Because that was the issue. Or a cave, like chambers could be like her room, but they said they sealed it so that she couldn't go back. They also say like seal the deal, which means like made permanent or made official. And imagine people doing the most just so that they can experience your light. We need her back out here. We need her back out here. We need our queen. We need our goddess. They said that her brother was the god of the storm. you know, how people could people influence an environment. People influence experience. So he could be notorious for causing issues, for causing havoc. And instead of running to clean up his mess, she probably sought counsel from her ancestors or sought counsel from God. But what do you guys think? Because I could be seeing this all wrong. The sun goddess. What did we learn about the sun? Enlightenment. It did say warmth. Warmth. Balance and harmony. The sun represents balance and harmony. Maybe he was causing trouble because he wanted her to respond. Because it says her next action was to withdraw herself. She took herself out of the equation. Somebody could be so powerful where it's like people are trying to get your attention, people are trying to get a reaction out of you, and you taking yourself out of the equation could uh, could be how you resolve conflict. Could be the best way of resolving conflict. Because some people could feel threatened in your light, and they would cause havoc just to dim it, just to make you feel powerless. This is given, it's not on me, it's in me. And then when she withdrew herself. She was the goddess, the sun goddess, and she she plunged herself into the plunged the world into darkness. And when I say a plunging the world into darkness gives she closed the doors, she completely isolated herself, given hermit mode, given this is gonna sort itself out. I trust God to sort this out without me. Without my participation, this would get sorted out. That's given confidence. The next is Hindu ancient text. So this text refers to Ramayana, the story of Sita. We're gonna look up the pronunciation because I don't want to pronounce it. I don't want to butcher none of these words. Ramayana. Ramayana. This is Hinduism. The story of Sita. Sita's unwavering strength during her abduction by Ravana exemplifies resilience and virtue. Oh, this is given the seven-headed dragon with horns. Lewis says demon king. Ravana is a mythological demon king of the island of Linka and the chief antagonist of the Hindu epic Ramayana. In the Ramayana, Ravana is described as the eldest son of Sage, Vashrava, and Kasi. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong. He abducted Rama's wife. He abducted somebody's wife? Sita, and took her to his kingdom of Lanka, where he held her in Ashoku Vadika. Rama, with the support of Banara king Sugrava and his army of Banaras, launched a rescue operation for Sita against Ravana in Lanka. Ravana was subsequently slain, and Rama rescued his beloved wife Sita. Ravana was well versed in the six Shastras and the four Vedas, which is the holy book in Hinduism. Like how Christianity has the Bible, Hinduism has the Vedas, including the Shiva, Tandava, Statra. So she's highly educated. Ravana is also considered to be the most revered devotee of Shiva. Images of Ravana are often seen associated with Shiva at temples. He also appears in the Buddhist Mahayana text, Lingavatara Sutra, in Buddhist Jatakas, as well as in Jain Ramayanas. In Vaishnava scripture, he is depicted as one of Vishnu's cursed doorkeepers. This is given God of the underworld. Interpretation. So Sita's faced immense challenges with grace and strength. This is what we see in this text. Sita's unwavering strength during her abduction by Ravana exemplifies resilience and virtue. She was morally good. I wanna I wanna read the story now. Hold on. I'm not sure if you can hear. Um, if I was to play it off the computer, I'm not sure if you can hear it.
A long, long time ago, there lived a prince called Rama. His kingdom was Koshala and the capital city was called Ayodhya. Rama had three brothers. One of them was called Lakshman. When he grew up, Rama married the most beautiful princess named Sita. By trickery, Rama was sent to exile into the forest for 14 years. Sita loved Rama so much that she went with him as well. She wanted to be with Rama even if she had to be poor. Before going, she gave away all her golden jewelry and her beautiful dresses. Lakshman also decided to leave the palace and to go with Rama and Sita. While in the forest, the wicked demon king Ravana kidnapped Sita. Ravana placed Sita on his magical flying chariot. He flew across the sea to his city called Lanka. Rama was very upset, but Lakshmana helped his brother to be brave. Together they searched for Sita, but couldn't find her anywhere. Then the two brothers met a monkey warrior called Hanuman.
A monkey.
He was very strong and could jump huge, huge distances. Hanuman collected an army of bears and monkeys and they looked for Sita all over the India. On the south coast, a vulture told Hanuman that he has seen Ravana's chariot flying through the sky towards Lanka. Hanuman climbed a mountain and jumped all the way to the island. Here, he found Sita weeping beneath a tree. She was very sad, missing Rama. Hanuman was spotted by Ravana's soldiers, who chased and captured him. The evil king set fire to the monkey's tail, but Hanuman escaped and, jumping everywhere, burned the Lanka to the ground. Hanuman jumped all the way back to Rama on the other side of the ocean. He gave Rama the good news that he had found Sita. The joyful monkeys waved their tails. They picked up stones and boulders and wrote Rama Rama on them before throwing them in the ocean. Miraculously, the stones floated, making a breeze all the way to Lanka. The monkey army marched over the bridge. Upon reaching Lanka, they fought with Ravana's soldiers, who were very ugly and ferocious and had sharp swords, spears, and axes. The monkeys threw stones and trees. They defeated Ravana's army. In the end, Rama shot a special arrow at Ravana and killed him. Rama and Sita returned to Ayodhya. Lakshman and Hanuman and the army of monkeys marched with them as well. It was the night of the new moon, so it was pitch dark. Therefore, to light up the way, the citizens decorated the road and their houses with millions of lamps called diyas. Rama ruled for thousands of years. While he was a king, everyone was peaceful and contented.
We not only saw her grace, but we saw the reverence that her people had for her, the respect, the level of respect that everybody had for her, and what they was willing to do for her to see that she was safe. It's a Buddhist text, but it was definitely given seven-headed dragon. So, I'm gonna just need help with the pronunciation again. Dhammapada. 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 Dhammapada, verse 223. One who, while being insulted, does not retaliate is a true leader. This verse highlights the importance of compassion and restraint in leadership. Mm. Level headedness. So, what I'm getting from here, and you can leave a comment on what I'm not sure if you can comment while the live. I don't know if you can put comments in the live chat after the fact, like after we're not live anymore. But what do you get from any of these texts? And how do you embody, or how do you think you can embody these qualities? This resilience, this grace, this patience, this, and then she this sacrifice, the willingness to sacrifice. A lot of people aren't willing to sacrifice anything. Emotional strength. Did I say resilience already? One, while being insulted, does not retaliate is a true leader. Somebody is telling you about yourself, insulting you, trying to put you in your place, trying to humble you, bringing up your past mistakes and whatnot, trying to hurt your feelings, and you're just there calm. What does it take to get to that point? What does it take to get to that point? this level of resilience. I'm gonna tell you what I think. It takes a sense of knowing yourself, self knowledge, self acceptance. Because you can't insult me. You can't use my past to put me down if I haven't accepted it. If I've accepted my past, you can't use my past against me. If I've accepted and understood why I did what I did, you can't use my past against me. If I have a sense of self knowledge and you're lying on my name, why would I respond to you? Gossip has no significance if you don't engage in it. If what they're saying about you isn't true, all you have to do is continue being yourself. And then time will tell all the truths. And the people lying on your name would be the ones that look like a clown. You said she was this, but she's not. You said she would do this, but she didn't. No, because that's not a part of my character. People who say nasty things about you are typically nasty people who have dirty mouths and dirty minds. If they don't know you, where are they getting this information? So if you know yourself, if you have self awareness, everything that everybody else is saying with you doesn't need your attention, doesn't need your energy because it's not true. And you know it's not. All you have to do is continue on with your life, and they will continue to stay in that dirty energy. They get to simmer in their own energy while you live a life of peace. You don't need to engage with that. You don't need to immerse yourself in that energy. Now if you need some negative ions in your life, you can use that energy as fuel for your success, for your success. I was gonna say succession, for your success, for your level up. You can use that as motivation. But if you know you don't have the heart to listen to all that type of stuff, don't even engage in it. It's not worth it. You don't have to go around trying to prove yourself to people. Prove prove what to who and why. God sees all and knows all. If God is for you, who's against you? Honestly, if you stay in your higher mind, they won't be able to touch you. If you work on yourself continuously, they'll need you. You won't need them. That is a flex. And the people who try to put you down, oh, I'm leaving, or I'm not effing with you, or you can forget about me being your friend or me being your confidant. If you don't need them, what makes that a threat? Bye. Bye. The way you acting, I don't need you in my life. The way you're behaving, I don't need you in my circle. Consider yourself cut. It's very stoic for somebody to be insulting you in your face and you don't respond, you don't react, you don't give it no energy. When you are whole in yourself, when you are all in one, when you are whole in yourself, when you are fulfilled, you don't need to respond. You don't need to give them a response. You can look them in dead in the face and be mindful in the moment. This is that's also another thing. Mindfulness. Take note of everything. Take note of their tone. Take note of what they're saying. Take note of their body language. Also take note of your how you're feeling. Take inventory of how you're feeling. Take inventory of your feelings and your thoughts in the moment. This allows you to remain present and not be driven by your emotions. This also takes emotional intelligence. It sounds like a lot, but we can start with self love. Because if you love yourself, you won't give to just anybody. You wouldn't give your energy to just anybody. And whoever's insulting you does not deserve your energy. Like how the sun goddess had to remove herself. She took herself out of the equation. She withdrew her energy. You need me more than I need you. And that's a fact. Like energy vampires, they need your energy more than you need theirs. I can get negative ions by grounding. I don't need your energy. If you know how to transmute energy, if you know how to transmute hate to love, you can stand in those environments and benefit off of it. Let's move on. So this is Protestant text. Colossians 3, verse 12 to 13. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. You know, there's a lot of personification in these texts where they give um, like adjectives, I think, um, like like personality, like to clothe yourself in patience, to clothe yourself in gentleness, to clothe yourself in humility, kindness, and compassion. Put on, put on your best outfit, put on your best dress, and let it be a smile. Dress yourself in kindness. Endow. Invest. So clothe could also mean endow with particular qualities. Endow, the synonym for endow is to provide, supply, furnish, equip, invest, give, present, favor, bless, grace. Sorry, excuse me. Grace, award, gift, confer, bestow, enrich, arm, endue. You can enrich yourself with compassion. You can invest in kindness. You can invest in yourself. You can invest in humility. Invest in your patience. Bestow humility. Gift kindness. Clothe to bestow. Gift yourself with compassion. Bestow kindness. Favor yourself in your best dress. How to embody compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. This sounds like you are dominant in your feminine energy because this is all female, feminine qualities. This all should come innately as a feminine woman because we have nurturing qualities. Compassion. Compassion is when you can see or when you understand that nobody's perfect. I mean, you see, you also have to equip yourself with the sense of discernment as well. Because you can be compassionate by default. Like how, like you can feel like everybody deserves grace. Everybody deserves mercy. I mean, treat things with compassion. You try and understand instead of judge. And when you do this, you allow people to feel safe in your presence. You allow people to feel safe being themselves. Because we are all humans. We make mistakes. We are not perfect. And when people realize that they can be safe with you, you allow them to grow past what they're holding on to. Some people hold on to shame, guilt, their past mistakes, and they never grow past that. They start to dwell in that mistake. They start to dwell in their bad decisions, convincing themselves that they're a bad person because they made a mistake. And that is simply not true. especially if you learn, especially if you grow, especially if you seek counsel, if you seek improvement, if you want better for yourself. This fosters a sense of mental well-being. When people when people could feel comfortable being themselves, making mistakes, and then correcting that. When you embody these things, when you shed light on the people around you, when you shed light, when you carry your environment with you grow. Because as a feminine woman, you innately want to nurture and nourish the things that are in your circle. That's why when people aren't reciprocating your energy, you have to cut them off because they are a weed. They are suffocating all the beautiful flowers in your garden and they have to go. You can't keep watering weeds. You can't keep nourishing and nurturing people that wish you harm. People who cause trouble, people who are notorious for troubling other people have troubled souls. When you speak out loud, when you do certain things, it means that your mind can no longer hold on to your thoughts. It needs to be put somewhere. And you know a person's core when you see how they behave. Some people empower themselves, and it gets to a point where you can no longer conceal that energy. Some people trouble their own souls, and it gets to a certain point where you can no longer conceal that energy. It's the same thing both ways, whether it's negative energy or positive energy. It gets to a certain point where holding on to that energy overwhelms the soul, overwhelms the spirit, and you have to release that energy. Depending on the energy that you've concealed, it depends on the energy that you provoke, that you portray. So when somebody's insulting you, those are their concealed thoughts and feelings about you. Don't overlook it. Observe, take notes, and move accordingly. This is how you maintain your peace. This is how you sustain your energy, your light. The sun goddess, she had to remove herself, she had to isolate herself. I can't deal with this right now, you're on your own. And in the story, it didn't say they went to pander to the brother. No, they went and sought out the sun queen, the sun goddess. We need you more than anything. We need your energy. We're not worrying about him. Negative energy is insignificant. The world doesn't need any more negative energy. It doesn't need any more troubled souls. We have enough. Sun goddess, we need you out here. And you're not going back. We refuse to allow you to go back into isolation. So you hear a lot of ladies complaining about how they're treated. How do you treat yourself? It all starts with self-love. How do you treat yourself? Because one of two things wouldn't happen if you showed yourself some love. One, you wouldn't keep those people in your life. You would cut them off because you know you deserve better. Two, you wouldn't attract that type of energy. You wouldn't relate. You wouldn't resonate, and you wouldn't feel compelled to allow them in your life. You would see the red flag immediately and be like, "Nope, not for me. That's not for me. That package ain't for me. Right package, but wrong address." Same goes for you. You are the right package, but you are at the wrong address. There may be a there may need to be a shift in your energy or your understanding, or you're on your job, because light attracts what? Moths, mosquitoes. It attracts pests. It attracts leeches. It attracts people who are in the dark, who get energy from other people's life force. Now let's have a discussion in the comments. How can we embody these virtues, these qualities, these characteristics, these personality traits? How do we become better for ourselves that will allow us to earn the type of reverence that will never allow you to stay in the dark? Because other people can see and they know that you deserve better. And they would want to provide that for you. You're in trouble? How can we help? You're not feeling well? How can we bring joy back into your eyes? How can we serve you? You do so much. We want more of your light. How can we feed you? You feed us, you nurture us, you nourish us. How can we feed you? How do you become that woman where people are willing to serve you because they want to see more of you? They want more of that light. They want more of that nurturing and nourishment. How could you be the person that you being yourself heals people? Just by you stepping outside, people's got a better day. Just brighten up people's days because you're clothed in the sun. And one thing that I noticed, the statement, it also says she has the moon under her feet. And we read that the moon symbolizes femininity or feminine energy. And we also said that the feet are at the base, it's at the root of the body. So what that means, she is rooted in her feminine energy. She is grounded in her feminine energy. How do you accomplish that? And we're going to leave it off at this. Today we saw women who were strong, and they weren't, we didn't read anything about them lifting any weights or moving any heavy boxes or fighting anybody or, oh, I'm got this. They weren't trying to be Miss Independent. They had people taking care of them. They were strong in the faith. They were strong when it came to them. They were strong emotionally. They were strong mentally. We saw women who were highly intelligent. We saw women who knew their scripture. They knew the word. They knew it. They embodied it. We saw feminine women who were strong, resilient, faithful, loved by many, respected, who were leaders in their own right. There are women these days who step or they live in masculine energy because they associate that with power. They associate that with strength. Man, we saw women who had power, who had strength, and there was no remnants of masculine energy. Does that mentality, let's ask ourselves, does that mentality come from the patriarchal society? The depiction of Eve, the suppression of woman feminine power, the suppression and repression of our voices, holding on to our anger. We're either one extreme, we're either too deep into our light, where we don't know how to stand up for ourselves, or too deep in our dark, where we are the troubled souls, where we are too deep in our sinful ways. and there's no balance, or we're too deep into our masculine energy, stressing our bodies out. Because if Sita was in her masculine energy, she would have probably tried to fight off Ace Boy by herself. If the sun goddess was in her masculine energy, she would have probably thought to go to her brother and tell him off and put him in his place. It doesn't seem like that had even crossed their mind to do that, because they live in their feminine energy. They thrive in their feminine energy. Today we saw a woman's true power is in her feminine energy. We don't need to force. We don't need to force any outcome. We don't need to be masculine to be a leader. We don't need to be physically strong to be strong, to show our strength. I saw nothing on seduction, on deceit, or manipulation. I saw that these women prioritize their self and their loved ones. I saw that these women were compassionate and patient. I saw that these women put themselves first over everything. Now, we're gonna end it off with a prayer, and I'll be seeing you guys next week. Bismillah. Rahman Rahim. I thank you, God, for guiding our sessions, for guiding our talks. I thank you, God, for being present with me as we study the Word. We gather here to unite in your name. Bismillah. Ameen. Peace.